All right, so I'm here with Amar. He reached out, wanted to see if I could go some of his trades with him, and I'd like to do this with other people as well. And let's see, you're gonna be the first one to actually, for me to actually go over their previous trades. So I'm more than happy to do this with you. And yeah, just go ahead and walk me through your first position. What exactly were you looking at, and what was your plan like as you decided to establish it before taking the trade?
All right. So, I mean, overall, obviously, the market was just selling off. I mean, every some days it would be going up, some days it'd be going down. But I had the $70 area for Beyond as just a usual. That's a support, and it's just like a psychological number, like 70.
Hmm.
And I told myself that when anytime I'd see a break, I'd enter for puts. But obviously, after the first candle, I tried entering, and then it just reversed hard, and I got stuck in it. So, which made me cost me about $266 on one contract. So,
Okay, okay. So you got it exactly, the candle that says 954, right?
yeah, I was trying to get on the 53 one. I was kind of chasing, and then I got filled for that 54. But then, yeah, as you see, I just got stuck in that.
Okay. So 854, and then here, let's see, 854. Yeah. So at this point, what I really do believe happened is, one, you got caught in that, right before that 10 a.m. reversal.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to happen a lot. Actually, today, every single time I get into a trade before, well, for me it's 8 a.m. Yeah, for me it's 8 a.m. That's like the reversal time, being the 30-minute candle, and most, big people's waiting for that 30-minute candle to come on in order to see, okay, what direction should I be going? Should I be going the opposite way, or should I be following what the market is doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's just a tendency that tends to happen, where a reversal around this time does tend to happen. But what I do see is, like, I would have done the same move here as you. I do like this, the fact that you looked at this and said 70 looks like a pretty good spot. And hold up, I just moved a little bit to the side, my bad. I want to see the way it looks on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, I mean, the way this looked, honestly, 70 does look like a very critical point for this to continue its move down. And I can see why you would have said, okay, if you were looking at Spire slash ES, I could see why you would have said, okay, this is probably a good move. Now let's look at this on the 30-minute chart, though, how overextended it was. Okay, so if you would have looked at the I mean, at the 30-minute chart, at this point, you know, do you see this right here? I'm gonna put it in red. Do you see like this little H right here it had to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so pre-market we saw that there's a good amount of, buyers stepping in for 30 minutes. We saw a buyer stepped in for 30 minutes right here. And which candle, at which area was the candle that broke? This is the candle that broke. What level did it break? Broke this level. What's the whole number nearest to this level right here? 76. Your retracement is actually 76 in order for this to continue its move down. The problem with this one is that it continued to move down towards a direction pre-market, to the point that it was kind of like, again, I don't know if you were able to see my videos previously, but if you're going a certain direction, at least with stocks, if you're going a direction for a long period of time, and then I mean, there's going to be a point where that runner, for example, if somebody was running for a long amount of time, there's going to be a point where that runner is going to have to take a break before continuing its move down. That break is this break right here.
Mm-hmm.
You see how it starts to get close to the previous area it broke? Once more, this area right here.
And then got rejected. Yeah.
What do you see here? You see strong sellers as soon as it gets close to the previous area it broke.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look at this. Okay, in the short run, yeah, it looked good. What you did was good, but on the long run, you were getting into something that was already overextended. Like the move was too continuous already, and there wasn't a break before the break of 70 happened. You would need to see like the hardest dump on the market for this to continue its move down. And even if I saw this, like even if I before I would have gone like into it, I don't really trade BYD too much. I used to in the past, but Amazon and Tesla have been like the main things that have given me everything at this point. And the thing about this one right here, the break of 70, it's too it's too much of the same movement. That just doesn't happen in this type of market as well. You know,
Yeah.
you can have it for a certain amount of time, and you can clearly see it went from say 82 to 70. That's huge. That's more than a 10% move down, and it was continuous before having this break right here. This candle right here, this small, tiny little candle, that's a break for it to continue that. If you saw that, like if this candle was green and then this candle came down with like strong sellers, like a stronger seller wick, and then it continued its move down, then I would have been like, okay, yeah, it's making an H, you know? It would
Yeah.
have made sense. But it kind of wasn't doing it. You know, the main thing that you saw here, in theory, yeah, this is a smaller H right here. It does make sense. And I can see why you would have done something like this. That's what I'm trying to get at. I can see
Mm-hmm.
why, but you got to keep in mind that the time that that you were trading it was right before 9 a.m., which this case would be 11 a.m. your time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that part is, I mean, always got to keep in mind about 9 a.m. Like today, my position in Amazon, I think I was taking it, came in at 640, sold at 654, but this would be the equivalent because I do it on different time frames because
Mhm.
I'm actually, you know, not in California right now, so this computer has California time, but basically got in before the 30-minute candle. And keep in mind that I sold right before that 5 minute last candle just because I know it's super, super dangerous. I always sell. Well, that's my personal preference because I've had very bad experiences, but I've always sell right before 11 a.m. your time.
Yeah.
That would be just like my preference. Like I always sell at least 5 to 3 minutes um, before 11 a.m. I sometimes don't. I've held before, but that's just testing my luck at that point. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like to
Yeah.
be honest, that's me testing my luck. Doesn't really have to do much with levels at that point, because if somebody comes in with like a stupid amount of money, they're gonna destroy your levels. Doesn't matter if it's a retracement or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all I want you to see at this point is that on the long run, yes, you were correct on this level because at the end of the day, it did go below 70, but you needed that break. You needed that break. So look at where it had buyer sentiment on this move down because you already know that this is a red move, right? You
Yeah.
know that this move is a seller move. So let's look for the areas where buyers are sitting. Buyers sat at this very level. The nearest whole number to this is 76, at least in the way this stock moves. This stock tends to move in like the 30-minute time frame, tends to move 2 by 2s, okay? So the nearest one is 76, breaks 76, this candle breaks 76, opened here, went downwards, breaks 76, goes to 70. We see buyer sentiment stepping in. That tells me 70 is a critical point, okay? Makes a move towards 76, again, the previous area where it broke, then makes a move down towards 70. And you can see that happening again in the long run. Let's look at this on the 1 hour chart. So you can actually see, I'm more than sure that this is like a perfect H right here. Where is it? Right here. In fact, this is like a 4 hour H. Took a long time for this move to happen. Here we go. So this is on each 4 hour. Look at this. Like I don't go to the 4 hour, but this is just for you to understand the way, this movement basically worked. It is an H at the end of the day, but you got caught in the long-term uptrend before it was going to continue making its move down. You see
Yeah.
that right there?
Yeah.
So what can we expect out of this is that this is the area it broke, 70. Oh God, that was a horrible 70. We can expect this to continue its move upwards towards 70 in order to continue this move down. I didn't realize there we go. Move up towards 70 before continuing its move down. Now your next critical level is 60. Why? Because there's buyer sentiment on the 60. So you see this area right here?
Yeah.
You see how critical that area basically is at this point? So because it moves, every move down on the long run with 4 hours seems to be between 5 to 10, 70 to 60, okay? This is 10, which is huge for BYND, right? That's like a
Hmm.
12% move down. So expect the next support to
Yeah.
be either 55 or all the way to say 50s right here, right? But
Yeah.
50 would be your next move right there. So this, a close below, like seller sentiment below 70 would mean this is basically a retracement and you're good. If you were to hold, don't
Yeah.
hold. Not on this market. Don't hold. And what would be the point where you wanna what would be the point where you wanna sell your position for a loss? I wanna see if you can tell me.
Wait, but what do you mean? Like where? Like what would be my entry though?
Like let's suppose you get in at 65, okay?
Alright.
You get in at this point saying this is a retracement, so my retracement is going to be at 70. What would be your stop loss in theory? What would be your stop loss at this point? I just want to, don't worry if you tell me like no, I just wanted to know what were you going to say?
I mean, I would say like not 70 exactly, a little bit above it, like 70 and 50 cents. That's what I would do. I mean,
Hmm. So in order for you to sell your position, well, because this is 4 hours, we're talking about a lot. Like this is a very long move. In theory, in terms of retracements, what you would want to see in order for you to start, because we're talking puts, so obviously we're going to have to draw green
yeah.
candles. What we would want to see is a close above 70. So this candle just closed above 70,
Hmm.
and we want to see the second candle continue that movement.
Yeah.
because if you don't wait for the second candle, what's going to happen is exactly what happened to you this morning. I mean, not this morning, the morning you did this trade, which is, hold up. This is what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Goes down, of course, in the 1 minute. You remember that there was a big candle right here,
Yeah, yeah,
breaks 70, stays below it, and then what does it do? Boom, the next candle doesn't continue to move. It goes over 70, and you get caught in the reversal. Okay,
yeah.
so that's something you want to keep in mind. Now let's look at this on the 5 minute in order for you to see. Okay, your retracement should have been 72. So any close above 72 should have been a red flag for you.
Yeah.
Because look, you actually had pretty good seller sentiment. Look at the wicks here. Wicks of the sellers were obviously stronger at this point, but as soon as there was a close above 72 and it continued, the second candle above the close of 72 continued, it was over.
Mhm.
Buyers took over. And you can see this because look, once again, there's sellers controlling a movement, buyers step in, sellers bring them down, create an H, make the move down. Now, this area continues to this point. In what point did this move explode? Towards the upside. The second it broke the previous area, it broke, which
Mhm.
is 72. You start seeing what I'm trying to put out here.
Yeah. Wait,
So,
so oh yeah.
go
So
ahead.
for the so once I see that break, like you said, of 72 to the upside, and I wait for the continuation, like, do I have to wait for the whole candle? Because that's gonna put me in big like a
This
red line.
candle, no, no. The second you start seeing, okay, like, look, this is what you would have seen in this case. And yes, I mean, if you want to sell at this candle, that's basically safer in theory. It's
Uh-huh.
just that like the way I had to trade was that I had to take basically some big risks because I started this account. Well, no, I didn't start this account, but I was about 3 weeks ago with 2K in my account.
Yeah.
So I had to be very like I had to be attached to my trade at this point because if not, boom, I just messed up one day, and one day was going to be enough to clear huge amounts of money in my account, right?
Yeah.
So, what you would basically want to see from this is you see this little wick right here in the
Mhm.
bottom part?
Yeah.
Like, understand that wicks tell you a huge story. Like, for small accounts, it's super important for people to understand wicks. Like this right here, at one point it looked like this. You can agree with me with that, right?
Yeah.
At one
Yeah.
point this candle looked like this. What did they do? They switched it up. Buyers stepped in. The second you saw that this looked like this, the second you would see that this looked like this, you get out.
All right.
This is the second strongest candle. This is the second strongest move you can have in any candle. The strongest move is obviously like this, huge candle with no wicks whatsoever.
Yeah.
But this candle right here means one side is taking over. And once it looks like this is called a hammer candle. And it's called a hammer because it just wrecks. It destroys. Like these are the types of candles that look like monsters as soon as like it can close like this and this candle will lead up to a candle looking like this
Yeah.
and you can actually like see it perfectly here, like close like this, boom, fat candle, you can see it everywhere. So keep that in mind as soon as it closes above a specific critical level of retracement. If you see that this candle starts to look like this and then starts to fill up just a little bit. You want to just wait this tiny bit right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This tiny bit, just waited to fill this much. That's your confirmation. You say, you know what? No more probability. And you're looking at slash ES pumping. You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So your probabilities of this trade looking green are basically not if you were on the put side.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's take a look at the other trade. Just to understand, you got this. You understood this part. You understood why I explained what I explained and everything.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
any more questions?
No, it's pretty much. I mean, my exit that doesn't really matter because I was in class anyway, so I had my phone away. So then I opened it back up, and I was already down so much because I wasn't even looking at it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I should
we
have
love you
exited
guys.
way more earlier, but I just wasn't on my phone. So
Yeah, you exited at 10:03. So you exited this one. So even I wouldn't have exited then, but still, good move on you because you would have had to suffer through all of
yeah,
this. At
yeah,
least that's what I would have done. Um, but okay.
but do you know why the premium moved up? Like I was only in one contract, and I was down 260, and it wasn't even on a Friday. Like I don't know how that happened.
Why the premium moved up so hard?
Yeah, like how was I down $266? Like, all right, if it was like 100, like that makes sense, but almost $300 loss in that quick amount of time. It didn't even move up that fast though.
It was this candle you got out, right?
The 10, yeah, so it'd be 903 on yours. Yeah,
Yeah. This is the candle. Okay. So I'm assuming you got out as soon as you saw this candle like go all the way up.
yeah, it was just
And
fully green.
this is a this is almost a dollar move. No, wait. Oh yeah. This is almost a dollar move right here.
Mhm.
And a dollar move on oh wait, did I just yeah, no, not yet. A dollar move on Beyond Meat is pretty significant. You know,
Mhm.
it's not a stock that is valued at 100, 200, 300. It's a stock that is valued at $60.
Yeah,
A dollar move on this, $6 is going to be 10%.
yeah.
A dollar move, you're talking about something that's, almost hitting a percent. Almost, not even that.
Hmm.
So you can imagine that this move up, not only does it scare you, but at the same time, it's going to kill your premium.
Hmm.
Because if you were going for puts, the second, like this candle right here, would have been the killer of killers. Like, even if it were to go down, even if it were to go back down, you would need to like see a red candle all the way down here before you could see
Yeah.
profits just because of this candle. Like that was your premium killer right there.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's one of the things that sucks about options. It doesn't if it goes back to the same spot, you're not gonna get the same.
Yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? Good Tesla sell-off. All right. Um, Entry at 11:04, 3:12:20. So you also do trading in class. What do your teachers say about that?
I mean, they don't know. I keep the brightness down when I trade, so like they can't see it, but I can.
Oh, okay. It's okay. So this case would be
It was a 10:04 on your screen.
this right here. This is
Yeah.
the candle you remember?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was red when I entered, but yeah, I still held through.
Okay. Um, all right, let's see. So you held for about 9 minutes. I mean, 8 minutes. Okay. So say you got in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay, so this was a green trade for you, I imagine, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you want to do? You wanted to help, you wanted to hold?
So like, yeah, using like those like retracement levels, like you say, like how would I be able to hold longer? Because me, I just sold because hit 560. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna get
I
out.
want you to see with what I just told you, I want you to tell me Where's the retracement level? Where's the retracement level for this move? Where's the retracement level for this move? And where's the retracement level for this move right here?
All right. Uh,
Everything here is literally right in front of you. Everything I just told you, I already saw the first retracement level, the second retracement level, and the third retracement level.
all right. Would the first one be 566, or would it
Five,
be
six, six.
568? That's the only thing that I'd. Which one would it be?
Okay, for this move down that you first got into, which would
Uh,
be your retracement level? Just the first one. We'll focus on that one first. The first move down, the candle that you got into, what would be your retracement level?
568.
No. The true retracement level on this, 572.
What was
Look at
that?
this. Brings an H. What does it do?
Break. The buyers. Yeah.
Creates an H. So it can be between these two levels, actually. These two levels. 570 and
Okay.
572. Creates an H. What does it do? What does this candle do? It breaks. This is the candle that breaks, meaning 570 and 572 are critical points. What you did, waited for this area,
Mm-hmm.
got caught up in the move up. This is basically a smaller H happening in front of you. Look at this H right here. Goes towards its previous breakpoint, 570. See how it went towards this area right here? What you
Yeah.
see, seller step in. Even if it was all the way up here, I would have been comfortable still, no matter what, holding and waiting for this move down. Now I want to look at, I almost forgot, I want to look at slash ES at this point. We're on the same day, right? We're
Yeah.
focusing on 1004. 1004 is right here. Okay, okay. So first, the first thing I notice is that you caught up a good move with slash ES. And clearly this seller sentiment with Tesla and slash ES were both correlational at this point. Big red candles on slash ES meant big red candles on on Tesla. At times, small red candles on slash ES can even mean big red candles on Tesla, depending on who's stronger on the stock. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's something to keep in mind. Now, take a look at this right here. What we do, make an H, go towards our previous breakpoint, 570. Let's say your game plan, like again, I always move Tesla with movements to 10. Okay, so my idea would be like to sell at 560. Oh, I even have a alert there. Probably took this trade too with you. Um, so you got in basically at the break of 570. So you got in at 566, which is pretty good. And went up, killed your premium a little bit before. This candle helped you out a lot. Made a move down. This is the candle right here. Look at this candle once more. I'm gonna do this with another color. First, let's see this right here. Can agree. This is the first. We're talking about 1 minute retracement, so they're very small, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So 556 is the area where the next candle broke, okay? Hold for the movement, hold for the movement. C, first buyer sentiment. This is your first buyer sentiment right here,
Mm-hmm.
telling you basically this 560 is a critical level. Now, at this point, honestly, I would have sold. That's just the way I like playing Tesla. I like playing it in tons of 10. As soon as it breaks 570, I wait for this candle, the second candle, to show me continuation of the move. I hold using retracements and everything. Of course, if it breaks 570, if it starts to go above 570, it starts closing above it. I wait for this retracement level in 572. That would be my idea of waiting.
Uh-huh.
But I would always hold towards 560 because that would be my game plan. That's personal. Okay. Now, if you want to hold through something like this, I would definitely keep in mind that this can reverse if you see that same sentiment on slash ES.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to hold through something like this, well, you have to set your retracement levels pretty well. So, okay, this is where it stopped. This is where the movement started to switch out on you. Turn around. Now, where was the previous candle that I told you that it broke?
Was that the 10? Oh,
566,
the
right?
one breaking 5, 6, that big, yeah.
This one right here. This is the candle that helped you out a lot and at the same time push your premium up and basically told you where your last retracement is.
Mhm. So do we put the retracement level depending on that candle or depending on the like the area,
Depending
like
on the break,
down?
depending on the break. So what was the, like, look at this candle. This candle opened where? Right above 566, right?
Yeah.
And what did it do? As soon as it broke, as soon as it opened, boom, strong sell, and it closed below 566, 566,
Yeah.
and it was the continuation to the move down. So basically, the nearest area to where it opened, I like to choose the whole number. That's my personal preference.
Uh-huh.
And for me, it's so far it's worked out. Like this is just me telling you, like it's not a law or a rule
Yeah,
or
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
This is just okay. It usually for me tends to be the whole number that's nearest to where it opened, that or to where it broke, that is the retracement level.
Mhm.
So once again, 566 is your area. Tell me what happens as soon as this is basically a huge H right here. You can agree on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You see that right there? That's a huge H. But what does it do? It gets close to what area?
566
And
pushes
566 was what?
the retracement of
The
that.
retracement.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gets close to this area. You see seller sentiment. As
Mhm.
soon as you see seller sentiment, should be good. What you want to see at the same time is that the market is selling off with your move. So let me see. This is 1033. Let's go to like 1033 on this move. So market was pushing up from 1021 to 1025. I want to see what happened on this. 1021 to 1025. 1026 had its first red candle since then. So 1026, first red candle on slash ES, and you can actually see that there was a retracement level on slash ES almost exactly at 2550. You see that
Mhm.
right there?
Yeah.
H breaks 2550, continues its move down. What does it do? Consolidates and gets near to 2550 before continuing its move down. Now, look at this candle right here. This candle is this candle on Tesla. Okay?
Mhm.
This green candle happened next. This red candle happened next. When slash ES pushes up and Tesla pushes down, that tells you that the sellers are usually stronger at this point.
Uh-huh.
That the sellers have more power because slash ES just pushed up, but you're
Tesla's
pushing
stronger.
down.
Yeah.
So as soon as you see a red candle, this basically, I mean, to my experience, as soon as I see a red candle, that means it's going to be a hard move down. Because if with a green candle that looks like a good push upwards, it moves down, what are you going to expect of a red candle?
It's gonna move down even harder on Tesla.
hmm So
Yeah.
watch. Green candle, red candle, starts moving down, seller sentiment right there. Big red candle, starts realizing that, okay, what's happening here is that all the support orders are getting filled up. That's why there's people that's why there's nobody's breaking at this point because everybody's like, oh, this is a support. We're gonna ride this up to 570 or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is like becoming a sponge for all of those orders as soon as all the sellers start kicking in and watch. In fact, you can actually see that this 1031, 1031, look at how big that green candle is on slash ES.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how small that green candle is on Tesla.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Look at how small this red candle is on slash ES. Look at how big that red candle is on Tesla.
Oh,
Look at how this candle looks like a hammer. What did I tell you about the hammers?
second strongest candle, right?
Second strongest, which usually follows a what? A big move
Yeah.
down. What you see right there is a break, and this goes towards 550. $10 move down on Tesla again.
Yeah.
You see that right there?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's basically it, man. That's the way I would follow it through if you wanted
Mm-hmm.
to do something like that. Of
Right.
course, keeping in mind that if it does start to close above 566 and slash ES starts to close above uh 2550, you probably you should probably sell at that point.
Yeah.
That's gonna be your only problem at that point. But if you are able to hold through all of this, like
Mm-hmm.
that's a $20 move down. Like
Yeah.
that's huge, man. Huge.
Mm.
So yeah. So let's go over one more.
Yeah.
Because
There was just.
my yeah, go
Oh,
ahead. Go
oh
ahead.
no! I just wanted to. There was something that happened today. I just had a quick question on that. I had. It was Netflix. I didn't trade it. It was just that it pushed down, but it was like such a quick move, but it was still really profitable if someone entered. But if you were using retracements, you would kind of just miss out on all the yeah, right there. So a break of 300. Um,
Break of 300.
yeah,
Okay. So this would be a good example for you to see. Okay, first, let me pull out the this is a good example for the first thing I told you, which one is that 9 a.m. reversal, which is your 11 a.m. reversal. Look at that.
yeah,
Hits 9 a.m. What does it do? Boom, pushes up, right?
reverse. Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing, look at this. Good H right here.
Mm-hmm.
Identify buyer sentiment on a seller move
Mm-hmm.
and on a critical level. What is the nearest whole number to this buyer sentiment? 300. Critical
300.
level right here. First thing. Break of this. Wait for this candle to break below it. Wait for the candle to continue the move. Get in right here. Ride the move down to however it decides to move. Like I see that every every two uh every two numbers it starts to find either supports or resistances, right? You can
Mhm.
actually
Yeah.
see it right there. So make a game plan on how much are you willing to risk at this point. So for me, I don't trade Netflix, but for me would be okay, catch a move below 300, sell at 296,
Mm-hmm.
$4 move down. And for Netflix, I believe that that's going to be pretty good. Take
Yeah.
into consideration that this is like $315, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 1% move. And if you catch a 1.25% move, you're going to make pretty good money. So for me, this would be enough. Now,
All right. Uh-huh.
in terms of retracements at this point, like let's say, so you were
Put in
seeing this,
290.
like what exactly is your question at this point with retracements from this example right here?
So I'm saying like, I mean, obviously no one can catch the top, the bottoms, and the tops, but I mean, the fact that it went from 300 to 290, but if we use the 296 as a retracement, we would miss out, and we were holding it. Then from 290 to 296, we would just be pretty much holding a trade that was once really green, and then now we're just kind of taking away from the profits.
Well, basically, in this scenario, yeah, in this scenario, that's the case. As soon as you see, like, if you were to get in at this point,
Yeah.
this, like, if you don't have a plan, like, that's why you have to have a plan in everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because catching a six, like, if you get in at 296, let's say you get in at 295, and it's a $5 move, man.
Yeah.
Like, who would say no to that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if it doesn't even get close to it, like, you just see it's already there, boom, sell, you're good. You made
Yeah.
basically caught, even if you didn't catch $5 straight on, you caught a $4.75 move, okay?
Yeah.
Which is gonna do wonders for your premium. And these candles do wonders for your premium as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it depends on like how much risk are you willing to take, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a plan and you follow your plan, like that's the thing that helped me out the most is that I
Mm-hmm.
follow a plan that I decide to take based on what my experience is on a specific stock.
Yeah.
So if like your plan is to get in at the break of 294 and then sell at 290, still a $4 move, Like
Yeah. Yeah.
don't be
Yeah.
greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Retracements are not for you to be greedy. Retracements are basically for you to see it where it has a probability, like it's all about probabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Retracements are for you, okay, to see, okay, hold up. So this is a retracement. Let's say that you bought in right here, this move happens, and you're like, okay, the retracement is 296, okay?
Yeah.
So let's look at the candles that are right here. I want to see what time they're in. It's 906. Let's look at 906 at this point. Look at the 906 on slash ES. Everything was turning on you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. The retracement level on slash ES was this candle right here. You see this H?
Yeah.
Breaks that pattern. So your retracement level was 2380.
Mm-hmm.
2380 on slash ES. And we're talking about the candle that is at 906, 907, 2380, 906, 907. It was already slash ES was already above its retracement level before this was up above its retracement level.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I look at slash ES. Slash ES can actually tell me stuff that is going to happen, the stuff that is more likely to happen to Netflix within that like 10-second split. Like
Yeah.
literally, you have like 10 seconds before that same move can happen to Netflix. Before, like there's been times like I've sold like right there before it explodes
Oh, yeah.
just because slash ES decided to explode first, and then that move just like boom, people see that and it's like okay, time to buy. And as soon as I'm like on the put side, I'm able to sell at that point.
Yeah.
So that's basically like the way you would have to look at it. You have to look at both of these, set retracement levels for both,
Mm-hmm.
and see okay, seller sentiment, that's pretty good, but then all of a sudden, oh, this candle closed above. Let's see, this candle showed momentum
Mm-hmm.
towards it, and it was a hammer candle at that point. There was a point where this candle was a hammer candle. You see that?
Yeah.
What follows a hammer candle? Big fat candle.
A candle. Yeah.
And that affects you in every single way with your trading. No?
So do you like to put retracements usually on the 1 minute or the 5 minute, or does it really
You have to look at them on all, man. You have to look at retracement levels on all levels. Like for example, there's a times that like if I'm holding, I remember there was one position where like I see seller sentiment.
hmm
Like I see seller sentiment. I don't care. Like look at this right here. What's happening right here? Seller move. This is the possible move that we can expect. Okay?
Yeah.
Start seeing seller sentiment right here. Now, this whole area seems to be critical, 2480.
Yeah.
Closes above this area can indicate that this is another move up. And this can be the thing about this specific move right here is that what I'm seeing, this can be either a move down or a move up. Why? Because look at this. Just like this can be an H on the downside, this can be a perfect opportunity
Yep.
on
Yeah.
the upside as well. Because look at this. This is the area it broke.
hmm
2480 is one of the most critical levels as of right now.
Yeah.
A close below 2460 could be pretty good seller sentiment. If
hmm
this candle starts to go towards 2480 and closes above 2480, this candle is going to have no problem breaking 2500, 2520, 2540 and
hmm
continue its move up.
Yeah.
So it's not like people like tell me, how do you know this is gonna happen? It's like I don't know it's gonna happen. I just wait for it to happen. Like
hmm
I just wait for this to close above this point, and I say, okay, what's my probability of this continuing its move down if it just closed above 2480, which is a retracement level on the upside? What's
Yeah.
my probability? Probably not good, right?
Not yeah.
Yeah, so I just like limit my risk at that point. It's just controlling my risk. It's not because I know something extra or something like that. So that's basically my looks on it, and you can actually see seller sentiment. You see that?
hmm Yeah.
Seller sentiment right there. Could form a pretty nice H, close below 2460. Could continue. Let's look at this on the 30-minute. Yeah, like I just don't see this as a possible move down. If anything, I see this like as a bull flag, a possible bull flag. At this point, you'd need to wait for news or something to affect this move, just because look at this. I mean, you have strong sellers right here. This is, I mean, this is a good seller sentiment, but at the same time, I would at least before I get into any position, need to see it below like 2460,
Yeah.
which is actually getting to that point. But I'm not going to trade anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but this can also make sense as a retracement. If this candle turns around, because again, we're talking about the 30-minute candle, right? So it's still got 22 minutes. If this candle turns around and starts to go over 2480, you're going to start seeing this. This is a long-term H. If you can actually see how perfect this long-term H is on the 30. Like there's H's on H's. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
H's on H's. Literally, I'm gonna do this in Discord because I want you to see it. So, God, you can see that right there. 30-minute. Again, you cannot have a continuous move for so long without taking a break. So this break technically makes sense. It
Hmm.
technically makes sense. And your retracement again is 2480. Look at this. This right here, move down, moves up, breaks. This
Hmm.
candle continues to move up with this candle. Again, this candle used to be green. That was horrible. This candle used to be green.
Hmm.
Then what does it do? Continues its move down, breaks 2480. But again, we don't know the final answer to this candle. This candle is going to tell us whether it's going to continue its move up or whether it's going to
Yeah.
continue its move down. Literally, this is the decisive candle. And if this candle decides to turn itself above 2480, it's going to continue to move up.
Hmm.
If this candle decides to continue to move down below 2460 and actually be below or at least touching 2440, then we can actually see it all go down. Strong sellers. And there it is.
Oh wow.
First
Yeah.
H on the downside. This is your break.
Hmm.
So this is your critical level right here. I'm glad that this is happening. I didn't
Yeah.
script this or anything like that. 2460, your critical level on the downside.
Hmm.
2480, your critical level on the upside. Look at buyer sentiment stepping in. What this tells me is that now that this looks like this has a probability. This has a probability. It's not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. But this has a probability of this candle now turning out like that.
Yeah.
And again, if it looks like this, closes like this, it has a tendency to show up like that, like a
Yeah.
fat candle like that.
Hmm.
So that's basically what it is. You know,
Hmm.
it's you setting retracement levels. I mean, I hope you got a little bit of information towards it,
Yeah.
um, and you're able to use this towards your actual trading, and you're able to make some money off of it.
Hmm.
So I want to thank you for being the first person to reach out to me and do something like this. And yeah, hope you
All
liked
right.
it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. This is actually like really. I'm just gonna like after this, I'm just gonna go through just what happened today and just kind of use retracements because like that's the only thing I feel like I struggle with retracements. So I mean, we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep in touch though.
Sure, man. Sure. Just look for those areas where there is a strong amount of um like on the downside, look for buyer
Uh-huh.
sentiment to find retracements. On the
Hmm.
upside, look for seller sentiments to find retracements because as soon as those are broken,
Hmm.
you found your retracement. And actually look at it right here. You can actually see a small H that happened here. You
Yeah.
see you see this buyer sentiment right here.
Hmm.
Nearest whole number to this area right here is 2480. Okay.
Oh
Breaks
wow.
2480. What happens? Continues its move down towards 2460,
Hmm.
gets close to 2480, but it never closes above 2480,
Yeah.
continuing its move down. You see how that makes sense now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's going to do the same thing at 2440. It's going to go, now your retracement level is 2460, continue its move down, then do that.
Yeah.
And that's how these things work. And don't get me wrong, it can definitely just like we can have, I don't know, coronavirus news again, where this candle just turns into a candle that looks like that. It's
Yeah.
just that these levels are meant for you to not panic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you have a plan, again, follow your plan. Don't just trade off of retracements because they can
Hmm.
still switch up on you.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, I hope you got some valuable information from this, and I hope to do more with other people as well, just helping them out as much as I can. So, you have yourself a wonderful day, my guy.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, you too.
No problem. Bye bye.